Welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft Amplified, oh god, server. Oh, I am standing in a bunch of beacons, being a derp. I wanted to change the intro. I didn't want to say, hello everybody, like I always do. I just think sometimes hearing the same thing over and over again, it gets a little bit stale. And this is officially derpiest intro ever. Let's get out of this, let's press F8, let's press F5. And we are over at the Quad Witch Hut area at the moment. I am doing some branch mining, and I got a little bit of a story to tell you. I was over at the Wither farm, just doing some AFK farming, and I died. I starved to death, of all things. So I forgot to eat food before I stood there. That is something I usually do routinely. And yeah, I died, which is not a good thing at all. And it really bummed me out because I lost a load of good tools and armor. And I thought, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to bounce back. We're going to come back stronger than ever. And I've been getting myself tons and tons of good gear. So at the moment, as you can see, I don't actually have that good gear with me. I do have a new pick over here, which has almost run out. And a really cool, awesome sword, by the way. I have something to tell you about that. The Sharpness 5. That is... yeah, from a book that we can trade with a villager. So I've been doing a little bit of trading with those guys as well. And I've been doing some branch mining. So re-geared up, got loads of diamond gear and picks and tools all sorted out. Got my beacons made, got loads of gear over here. As you can see, we're up to 41 diamond ore. And that is from this stretch of mining right here, which is going to continue. We're going to do some things in this episode. We're going to be going over to Hermit Frills, possibly building a game over there. But before I do that, I am going to get some branch mining done. So while I'm doing this, it gives me a chance to actually talk to you a little bit. As I said, I've been getting geared up, I've been getting diamonds, and I wanted to say thank you for all your support on the recent episodes. It has been really fun, this stretch of, I don't know, doing the whole Wither farm and just hanging out, doing episodes. It's been really great lately. I've absolutely loved January, just had more free time to do the things that I wanted to do. And I feel like these videos have been a little bit better because of it. And I'm out of torches, which is not great. Let's go make some of those. I am the worst at talking and doing things on camera, and there are things that I do want to talk about. So yeah, the feedback has been great. If you want to give this video a like the other ones, it's always appreciated. You know, I really do appreciate that support, and it's an important thing. Just need to remind you from time to time is all, although you guys have been excellent actually. The numbers lately have been really satisfying, and I gotta say, and I've said it before as well, that the most satisfying thing is always the comments. You know, I love to read them. You can always see me down there replying to people. If you've never had me reply to a comment before, maybe do that. And in fact, yeah, when this episode comes out, I'll make sure I reply to them. So if you've never, you know, had a little interaction with me through the comments, I'll try to do that, because I really do enjoy that. Anyway, I'm going off on a complete and utter tangent here. There are things that I want to talk about, and I'm distracting myself. So, last episode we did a straw poll, and the turnout for that was absolutely amazing. I have it on my screen right now. There are 3,072, just went up to 73 votes. I can see them go up live, which is really cool. And it looks like Crownfall is going to win, and I'm really pleased about that. But what I liked is just the amount of people turning up to vote was so much more than I expected. I kind of expected, you know, maybe a few hundred people, and it's been in the thousands. And that video has only been up for a couple of hours. So it's on Saturday that I start. Whoa, we're recording this one. That was close. Let's go and put down a bit of that right there. That's good. So what I'm thinking is that's awesome, and we should do that more often. It'd be great to vote on more things. And so I was thinking, well, what else can we vote on? And I've decided that I'm not going to try and, you know, make a thing to vote on each episode, but whenever a big decision needs to be made, I think that's the way to do it. So this lava pool right here looks a little bit deep. There we go. We want to make a path on either side. With this branch mine, I just want to cover everything in the area, and because we're at the witch farms, we want to find dark areas like this and light them up. So let's do a little bit of that right now. We're going to talk about the whole branch mining operation. As I've said several times, there are just so many things I want to talk about right now, and yeah, that was one of them, the straw poll thing. So we'll be doing that in the future, and thank you everyone for voting. Looks like Crownfall won. I'm going to leave it a little bit more time, but it's 70% to 30% at the moment, so it's looking like nothing is going to change there, to be honest. We don't actually need that. I'm mining with Silk Touch, by the way, if that wasn't obvious. And I want to make a path through the middle here, just so our branch mine is all nice and neat, which is inefficient with our time, but we're just hanging out here together, which is always cool. Absolutely love recording lately, just hanging out and babbling a little bit. I've actually got a little bit more comfortable with that, and yeah, that should probably be quite obvious, which I like. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to be more of a talky guy, because every now and then there's things to talk about, and I'm well and truly rambling. So let's just sprint down here. This is how I do it, you know, got all the beacon effects on. We can blitz through these areas and get tons and tons of stone and resources, and then I kind of head back and put down all the torches. So you'll notice that my effects just ran out then. I always check to make sure these blocks actually remove. Sometimes when you're speed mining, the client will think that it's mined the block and the server will say it hadn't. So you've got to place down some torches, and sometimes they will. So I wanted to give you a demonstration of this on camera. If you have a look, when I walk forward, it doesn't let me actually move there. I've just got to the end of a branch over here. You can see when I place torches, it's then going to make the blocks that I thought I mined reappear and the ones that the server said I didn't. And it looks like it was only the one and a couple down there as well. So that's the way you sort that out. Alright, so back to the talking. There was, oh, and here comes the water. In fact, I think I'm done with that branch for now. Let's go make a new one. Yeah, there was something else I wanted to talk about. The feedback on my no rain tutorial video, that's the one, was a little bit unexpected. A lot of people were saying things along the line of, why would you bother with this? You can just make a fill clock that has, the clear weather command on it. Now, sometimes when you're making videos, you forget about, all of the process you go through when making something, or in this case, I had seen this somewhere else and I thought it was an amazing contraption because it used the snowman to detect the rain, and it actually detected the rain when it happened. And it's something that I didn't really highlight in the video. You see, there's lots of ways to do things in Minecraft, but if we learn all of the ways, then we'll be able to do other things as well. There may be an instance in the future where something in the game changes, just because I can't think of an example right now, but where actually detecting the physical rain itself could be a really cool and important thing as opposed to just clearing it. So I thought it was a brilliant contraption because it used the snowman to detect that. And so for that reason I thought it was worth sharing, and I made a note for future videos and stuff like that. I'm going to try and explain, what's good about this video. There's other ways to do the thing that I'm showing you, but this is why I think this one is good. And I think it's important to think like that when you see things as well. Always think about the possibilities beyond just what you're looking at, because that way you'll be able to come up with cool little inventions and contraptions. At least that's how I do things. So with that one right there, it's like, yeah, of course you can make a little clock and clear it with the clear command, but this way you're actually detecting the rain happen, and that's a really cool mechanic right there. So anyway, enough about that. We're now going to talk about the mining operation here a little bit. We've got a few more things to check out. So I've shown you all of the goodies in here so far, but the idea is that I've set this up so we're going to have a group of 4 beacons like this in 4 corners of the witch hut area. So if we start climbing this ladder, which still isn't set up properly, we've got to remove that block after us, and I think we've got to place one at the top as well. I can show you what the general idea is, because in each group of 4 we're going to have a branch mine. And actually, let's just go back down for a second. This branch mine's kind of ineffective. Now, you may be wondering, why am I not doing the poke holes thing like in the diamonds video? Well, the reason why is because we're using speed mining, so it's actually kind of more efficient just to go along in a straight line than it is to turn to the sides. However, if you can't instant mine, then turning to the sides is actually a really efficient way to explore and see more blocks. Just in case you were wondering, I have done tests, timing myself and things like that, doing the different methods, and I didn't actually show you everything I wanted to down here. So these are all 2 apart, and I really should have done that 3 apart. It kind of dawned on me a little bit into this that is also, again, inefficient. But now that I've started it this way, I've just thought, sod it, let's continue doing it that way, because all of the different branches that we're going to make here are going to line up. So I'm going to explain how that is going to happen. There's no real reason for it to line up other than I decided I wanted to do it that way. But with 4 groups of these beacons, if we put them in the correct position and mark out the beacons in the same place, all of our branch mine, then they're all going to link up with one another. So up the top here, you're going to see that this is over in one corner from where the center is. And in order for us to get out of here, we've got to look down, we've got to jump, place a block, jump again, and then remove it. Brilliant. Just needed one more ladder, really, but I ran out of them. So the center is just over there, and what I did is I marked out 50 blocks. I took the coordinates to the very center, added 50 blocks in each direction, came all the way over here, and this is where the 50th block is. So it's going to overlap a little bit in the middle areas, not exactly, but it's alright. And then what we're going to do is simply go out in 50 blocks in each direction to that corner, to that one over there, and to that one over there. And when we do each of these branch mines and put down the beacons, they're all going to line up with one another, which is really cool. And then that way we're going to explore the entire area for our perimeter, make sure it's all lit up down there at the very bottom. But obviously there is still other caving to be done as well. Anyway, we're going to head back down to the bottom here because I want to grab some things and head back over to Hermit Hills. I got some of my armor and stuff to show you. I've got some trading with villagers to show you their trades, etc, etc, things to talk about, and eventually we're going to head over to Hermit Frills and make a game as well, which is the plan. I'm pretty sure nothing's going to change right there. So I guess I'll meet you first of all over in the Hermit Hills. So we're back at the Hermit Hills base, and check it out, over in this chest we have a load of awesome diamond gear. So this one over here is a blast protection for unbreaking free. If you didn't know, these specific protections do more than regular protection does. So with this, it's going to be great for fighting the withers. They do a lot of blast damage, and I want to get a good set of armor for taking on the withers. You know, I want to fight them with potion effects and beacon effects and really just destroy some withers. We're going to be doing that very soon. Lots of wither fights by ourselves. Last time we did it was as a group, and it was kind of derpy and fun. But I'm just going to, go over these quickly. These protection ones, you may be wondering why we have those. We'll go over that in a moment. But basically, I've just made sure I've got a ton of great picks right here, and most of these are very low on the repair count, so we can repair them over and over again. A couple right here need repairing more as well, and we're back in a good situation because I'm also wearing some of this armor as well. We've got some awesome boots right here, which I renamed. Don't know why I did that. Don't remember actually renaming them. That's kind of a bad thing because it makes them more expensive to repair. But yeah, we got ourselves some good gear and I'm all happy about it. And anyway, if we go around the corner here, something really annoying. 2 of my villagers have disappeared. This is one of the reasons we were kind of hesitant to update to 1.8.1. As soon as I did it, these 2 guys over here disappeared within a couple of hours. But the rest of them have yet to disappear. One of them also changed profession, I think. Librarian, I'm sure we only had 1 of each. That's how I did it before, so that's really strange. But this guy over here is our armourer, and I had to kind of double check the wiki because I know they nerfed this, but they really did nerf it. The only thing you can get from this guy is a chest plate with protection 1. Now I was thinking, for the longest time I've been wearing, some iron gear, unenchanted, along with my boots, and it's really been quite fun to play with. So these things right here, I actually think are pretty decent. Obviously it's not going to be your armor for fighting the wither, but for everyday use I think that's really good. So that is an awesome trade. There's also a few more interesting ones that we will unlock in the future. But if we check out this guy right here, did you have something interesting to trade with us? No, it was the other one over here, I think. So this guy, he has... Oh no, don't tell me it changed. Don't tell me it changed. It changed, didn't it? Oh no. I only got the 1. This guy had sharpness 5 on a book for I think it was 30 emeralds, and that's amazing because when you enchant stuff you can only get sharpness 4. You have to combine 2 books to get sharpness 5, and so it made the repair cost of this sword right here a lot less, and unfortunately that has passed. And that is a lesson. I can continue trading with this guy, and it might refresh. I think if you do any trade at all it refreshes the other ones. So these book trades that they have I guess are kind of random. And that means if we just do more trading with them, this will change. In fact, I'll do that right now. In a moment we'll do that. I'll go grab some sugarcane, we'll do some trading and learn a little bit about it. But I pictured myself, saving up loads of these scientists, having 1 for each different type of trade. But if that is the case, then I guess we're not going to be doing that. So we have a little experiment to do before we head over to Hermit Frills. Going to go down to Mumbo's farm, grab myself some sugarcane and do some trading. This is interesting. I'm just doing some trading with this guy. Noticed he had a few more trades than I thought. And he does have the Sharpness 5 book. And he's got multiple ones of these. So the same thing could still apply that they change if they get refreshed. However, down the end here you can see he's got another one of these. That's got Sharpness 5. There's one after it with Looting 1. That's not going to be useful. But if he keeps this trade, then that's going to be awesome. And I think what I'm going to have to do now is go and look it up on the wiki and see what that says, and then maybe do some testing in a test world as well, just in case things are unclear. But it looks like they can have multiple ones of these. And Silk Touch. Well, isn't that pleasant? That is a enchant I do like. And Bane of Arthropods 5 for 64. Crazy. It looks like you can get some really awesome books with these guys. And that is fantastic. These librarians are going to have a place for us to have a permanent trading set up with them, it looks like, because those things are extremely useful, especially that Sharpness 5 and Silk Touch book. That is awesome. I'm really glad that we got that. But anyway, we're going to need to get more of these guys in the future so we can get more awesome book trades, that's for sure. Going to look into what we can actually do with them. And by the way, Tango's trading thing down here is amazing. He really did get me a load of awesome supplies. The best one that we have is not rotted flesh, it's actually the iron. And you'll see why in a moment if we do a demonstration, although I can't remember if I've got one who actually trades with rotted flesh. But anyway, look at how much iron we got here. We got loads of that because we have an iron farm. If we trade with this guy, you can see that the iron trade is real cheap. It's 8 for 1 emerald. You can put in a stack and usually get 8 emeralds each time. However, the rotted flesh trade is usually around 56 for 1 emerald, so it's going to be slower to trade. You're going to need a lot more of it, and for that reason the iron one is the best. But anyway, we'll come back to these guys another day we've done enough kind of rambly stuff and checking out all the things I've been doing in between episodes. Let's head over to Hermit Frills. Let's get on with this project because I've got a game idea in mind and I think you guys are going to love it. So I thought I'd mention it. I was watching Zul'jin's video and he hinted at wanting a beacon, and we're going to be doing more wither fights soon, so I'll be able to give some beacons to the other hermits, but I thought I'd drop one off for him up here. And as I was just, admiring the place, I saw someone walk past me and it freaked me out a little bit because Hypno and Tango are online. Hypno is over at his base and Tango is AFK, so I thought, who is this mysterious person in Zul'jin's base? And it's this guy over here. He's got a villager up the top who's actually just wandering around, and I'm kind of curious to know if this guy's supposed to be in a particular place or what he does when he wanders around, because you know what these villagers are like. They usually get killed by zombies, or they usually like wander into some sort of hole and get stuck there, but this guy seems to be able to roam around the castle, so I'm going to have to ask Zul'jin about that and see how that goes, because as I said, it'd be pretty typical for him to get stuck or killed somewhere, but so far he seems to have survived. Anyway, let's pop back down. We're going over to Hermit Frills. I'm actually getting prepared to do some building over there, and they're going to build a little bit, or pretty much all of the mini-game actually, and then show you how it works, and then there'll be a little bit more stuff and things to build after it. But yes, I'll do all of that and be back with you in a moment. These beacons, they make our lives so much easier. They really do. And I am pleased with the way that this is going. It doesn't look quite as glamorous as I thought it would from down here. Bit of a boxy building, nice colours, but nothing too special, right? Well, it serves the purpose for this game that I have now created here, I guess. And I'm going to explain to you how this game works. So let's just take a step inside and see the bottom of the building down here. Almost finished working on this, got a little bit of sea lanterns to collect from XB's area, but this is the entrance. There's going to be like a high school area on one side, on the other side there'll be like an instructions area, and then over here will be the way to get up to the top. So now we're going to climb this ladder all the way up here, and I actually plan on replacing this with an elevator. So just with the time that I have, I've built as much as I could down the bottom, and then that means between now and the next recording I'll have plenty of time to build the slime block elevator, which is going to take a lot of time. It's going to be the Slipgator, Woollyvator, whatever it's called. I think that's the wrong one actually. I think it was just Woolly Creeper's design, but the one that we got over at our base. So from up here you can see that this is some sort of jumping game, and let me explain with a little bit of a demonstration. You're going to jump down and then you're going to place a lily pad and then land down below. That was actually quite easy, but as I started to descend, it looked like it might be a little bit difficult, so maybe that bit up there is too high. But I do need to do a test. You're going to be playing this game with other people, and you're not going to be wearing any armor. So no feather falling, which is important, because if you land on a lily pad, then you will die from fall damage, and that is part of how this game works. Now, this isn't my own original idea. This is something I've seen on XBD and on my current server as well. Fenneman and some of the other guys usually play this game. The idea is that you have a pool of water, and then you have a ladder all the way up to the top. So what you got to do is jump off and land in the water and manage to place a lily pad somewhere. So the idea is you take it one by one in turns to jump off the top and go down through the water. The objective is to land in the water, make it down to the bottom, and to not have a lily pad in your hand, because that means you would have successfully placed one up here. If you do that, then you're able to pass on to the next round. Now, the way that you would get disqualified from the game is if you die by hitting a lily pad, or you make it down through the water and you've still got a lily pad in your hand when you're at the bottom. So the idea is, you've got to try and survive the drop and continue placing lily pads. As the game goes on, it gets more and more difficult. And by the way, this is a bit big. This is a 9x9 grid, which means a possible 81 turns in total. And 7x7 did feel a little bit small. Doesn't have to be odd, but I figured, once you've got quite a few down, it's going to start getting a little bit tricky. So as you fall down, just let's pretend I'm falling down here, you're going to be avoiding the lily pads and trying to place one. So that might be quite simple. You might, place one there as you fall in on the left, but as this thing gets full up more and more, there might be like a 1 block space like this for you to fall into, and your next point to place down a lily pad might be over there. So I'm predicting it will probably get difficult around 40 or 30 drops. But that does sound like a lot, doesn't it? So having the elevator over here to get up to the top quickly is going to be important for fast gameplay. Then when you're up the top there'll be a chest or a dispenser to get a lily pad from. There'll be a platform that extends so you fall down from the very middle, which is actually probably quite important. And I need to do some testing. If this thing's going to be lower down and you can't get to the edge, then that's a little bit of a problem. Or is it? Because it's going to be the same for every player. and that'll kind of exclude the edge blocks from the game and make this a little bit smaller maybe. I don't know, I'm rambling, I'm thinking a lot. But yeah, that's the idea. Platform in the sky, pick up a lily pad, take it in turns one by one. If you hit a lily pad on your way down, you're disqualified. If you make it all the way down to the bottom and you still have a lily pad in your hand as well, then you're disqualified, and it's going to be a game of last person standing, and it's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to playing this with the other hermits. And there's not too much more to be done here. You've kind of seen the theme that I've gone for. As I said, the building looks a little odd from the outside. I think we can make that look a lot nicer with some flowers and pretty things around the outside as well. We're going to have our entrance going down here. And I like this floor. It is a bit overwhelming with like a quite clean and white feeling, but I don't know. I think it works, and we don't need to stress it too much. It's all about the game, and I've kind of explained how that works. So I don't think there's too much else to say. We're just going to finish doing these rooms. I'm going to build that slime block elevator. There's quite a lot of work to do. This didn't really take too long, but I got a feeling that elevator is really going to take a fair bit of time. So I better crack on with it. Then when we can come back, we can check out all of that, and then hopefully after that we'll be playing a game with some of the other hermits. But we'll have to see how it goes, Got to talk to people, arrange things, and hopefully get it all done in time for the video. But anyway, enough rambling. I do that a lot lately. Let's crack on with this. Things have gone really, really well so far, and unfortunately plans are going to change. This has taken, a fair amount of time. There's still a lot more to be done, and I'm thinking, hey, what we'll probably do is finish this off for this episode, and maybe on Thursday we'll do like another midweek bonus episode. We'll get together with some of the other hermits and we'll play this game, because there is more to be done here, and I just want to make this thing look nice and pretty and get it all ready. So one big change is there's sand around the outside. Forgot to mention that. That is quite a big change, actually. I just felt like this would look nicer with some sand around the outside, so I plopped it down and I thought, yes, that looks pretty cool. But as you can see, I've built the elevator over here and the whole flush thing that I did a tutorial on up the top there. That was really great to build, actually. Following both of those tutorials, my one and Woolly Creepers, was really easy to do in survival. And when I got to the complicated bit up the top, I was thinking, watching me fly around, placing all the blocks really quick in creative mode would be difficult to follow. But as always, all you got to do is watch a little bit of the video, then pause it, copy what you saw, build it in the world, and then play the video again. And it took no time at all to do all of that. It went off without a hitch, let's say. So, all of that's up there and working. We'll check it out in the middle. So all of this down here is done, and I am thinking about perhaps putting in a ring of quartz around the bottom here just to break this up, because there is quite a lot of sea lanterns. But in general, this looks really good. So let's have a look on either side. You can see it's nice and neat and organized. Oh, by the way, the name of the game is going to be called Lily Pad. And if you have a look at the front here, we've got 4 blocks on that side, 4 blocks on that side. I've called it Lily Pad. The game was supposed to be called Lily Drop. I don't know where in my mind that changed, but the game is called Lily Drop. 2 4-letter words going on either side. Look nice and symmetrical. Good stuff right there. So that's another thing I forgot I got to do, because we have more to do. The banners need to be placed as well. But anyway, how to play Lily Drop. I will change that, and I can hear a zombie or something again. Take turns to drop from the sky platform into the water pool. Take 1 lily pad with you and place it on the water as you fall. If you miss or hit a lily pad, you are disqualified from the game. I think that's a really simple way of explaining how to play it. And then play with 2 or more hermits down the bottom there. On this side, we've got high scores. When you are the last player in the game, count the lily pads in the pool and enter that number as your score in the book. The higher, the better the score. And it just kind of occurred to me that you need to play with other people who are good to get a high score. Because if you're the last person standing and you play with, let's say, 4 people who don't know what they're doing, they die straight away, then your high score could be 1 or 2. Then you win, but it's not that great. So you actually have to play with other people who are good to get a high score, which is an interesting dynamic. But yeah, anyway, so over here you can see this stuff needs tidying up. That's the next thing for me to do. I want to put sea lanterns all over this thing so it's nice and bright. Going to put some blocks around it so it's pleasant to see. And if we just step up here, one of the things I was supposed to do before I started recording was get the platform up the top here done. So it's going to extend out, and then there's going to be a little bit for you to drop right down in the middle above the pool. So yeah, lots more still to do. It's just taking a fair amount of time, but I'm enjoying it, so everything is good. And yeah, as always, I'll do more building and be back with you in a moment. Alright, it's looking a little bit odd around here. Look at this thing. I've kind of boxed it in to make it look nicer, and I kind of feel like I've just built a really big ugly grey tower. I put some lighting on the side don't really think that adds too much to it. And to be honest, all of this I think looks a little bit silly. So I might try and add some more shape. Shape seems to be the thing. You know, these big flat surfaces don't do much. Maybe we'll add a few stairs on the outside, put some cobblestone walls in or something like that, just throw in a few bits of detail. And up the top there, I've been debating if I want to kind of create a slope that comes out and then meets this bit here, just to kind of cover up the redstone on that side. There's also some around the back. And I actually think it looked a little bit better before I boxed it all in. So we got some work to do here. Shouldn't take me too long. I've added lily drop at the front here. This just took forever getting all of the ink sacks to craft those. And I'm thinking, you know, Doc M's put out a ink sack farm design recently. It looks really cool. Maybe we'll build one of those, and then we won't have to worry about that again. But that's most of the changes. We want to go up there and see the platform up the top as well. Just finished building that. I might once again make a couple of changes. And this thing is awesome. I love this elevator. There'll be a link to the tutorials, Woolly Creepers and my one, in the description box if you want to build one of these and you happen to have never seen it before. But this is the platform at the top. Yes, you can run and jump off the edge. You know, I'm not trying to make it idiot-proof here. And you got to drop it with some lily pads, so you can pick one up before you go down. And a moment ago, these were all full glass blocks in the middle, and I found that it kind of limited your range to move to the edge. Now, if you move in one direction like this at the moment, you can get pretty close to the edge. If you go a diagonal, it's hard to get into those corners. So there's probably like a circular radius down there of where you can actually land. And I'm considering removing these as well, so you can get further to the corners. But anyway, let's jump. Jump, did I just say? Jump down like that. I actually noticed that I didn't hit the glass on the opposite side, so we didn't go as far across as we could. Let's just try that one more time. So if I sort of jump into it, that was very close. Look at that, we can pretty much get all the way into the corner. I think that's good. We'll keep it like that. As I said, there's a few more things to do around here though, so let me just kind of finalise this thing up and we'll take one last look at it. Well, at this point, I don't really know what to say. I haven't had too many ideas for this building at all. I was looking at it, I was thinking, let's try and get this thing to slope out with something interesting, use some cobblestone walls and slabs, and really that adds nothing at all. And there's just way too much andesite blocks there, isn't there? And I decided to call it a day. I spent way too long on this. I think I should have done some creative building before I just decided to build the entire thing out of andesite, but it's not the most awful thing in the world. And also, if you have a look over the back here, you can see I've kind of extended what I did at the front onto the back as well, so it slopes all the way like this, and it does look a little bit strange, I guess. If you follow this line down here, it would sort of come across like this, and what I've done is I've counted it and then jumped all the way back to there, so it looks a little bit strange, but either way, it's kind of cool looking as well, isn't it? Just not the prettiest of things, like a big monolith. But anyway, let's go up to the top. I made some minor changes up there. We just want to have one last look at this place. And I do love this room down the bottom. That's the best thing about this, I reckon. We go all the way up to the top and then jump out quickly. And then we have a look around. You can see the platforms just go over to the edge now on either side, which looks cool. Can't remember if I showed you these sea lanterns I added, but also some little supports here. They look cool like that. I actually really like the glass panes just being used as a pillar. They're very bright. And from down below, this looks very bright right here as well. Let's pop down one more time. I love jumping down from there. And let's just look up before that skeleton hits us. Ever so bright, isn't it? You can really see it. But there you go. That's the game, Lily Drop. And I can't wait to play it with some of the other hermits. We're going to organise something. I'm going to do a bonus video for Thursday where we just play this. And it should all be good. But let me know what you think about it. The game itself is going to be a lot of fun to play. The building is questionable. You can you can say whatever you like about that. I think this bit down here is great, but the tower is a little obnoxious. But anyway, that is it for this episode of Hermitcraft. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like. And I always say it will be appreciated. I do genuinely mean that every time I say it. You guys are great. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.